Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to do a full FlipAlert walkthrough. It's been a minute since we did one of these. I think our last one was July 2024, if not September 2024. So a lot has changed since then. We're going to dive into everything that FlipAlert has to offer today, which is now September 2025. Go through each module. This is going to be a bit of a lengthy video, so please feel free to skip around as needed. And if you want specific videos on specific modules, we also have those included on the channel as well. So first and first, what is FlipAlert? So FlipAlert is a tool that we built early 2024 that maximizes your time, maximizes your profit, and is totally focused right now, for the most part, on Amazon to Amazon flips. And what is an Amazon to Amazon flip? An Amazon to Amazon flip is when we're buying something directly from Amazon.com or .ca, and we're selling it right back on the Amazon platform for profit. I know it sounds kind of nutty. I've been doing this since 2018, was my very first A2A flip. In that span from 2018 to 2025, I've now spent over 2 million USD just on products to return and flip back on Amazon. And so from that period of time, I was doing a lot of things. I was using a lot of manual tools. I was using Keepa, of course. In 2021, we launched our very first version of FlipAlert that was purely to monitor for restocks and price drops. And then in 2024, we kind of took it up a notch and launched the entire platform publicly and available to everyone. As of now, it's been about a year and a half since launch. We've added a ton of new modules. We've actually added some details and some value outside of just Amazon flips, which we can talk about as well. But first and foremost, we're going to dive into what the tool actually does and how you can best utilize it to make some money on Amazon. If you're an FBA, FBM, or any kind of Amazon seller, even wholesale sellers sometimes come in and find value with what we have to offer. So this is the main dashboard in FlipAlert. I do want to preface, right now I'm kind of in streamer mode, which means a lot of the data you're seeing is just kind of placeholder data. If I showed you my real data, you'd be able to see exactly what products I'm monitoring and exactly what I've purchased. And given that hopefully a few hundred people are going to see this at least, that could kind of mess up some of the buys that I've made. So right now we're just going to use kind of placeholder stuff, but the same information that you would see would be kind of your personal information that's actually yours and makes sense to you at the time. So our dashboard just gives you an overview of the entire platform and everything that's going on when you first log in, all the products you're finding, all the products you're monitoring, and all the spend that you've had recently. At its core, FlipAlert does two major things. Number one, it proactively finds you items to buy to then resell back on Amazon. So that is our profitable flip section over here under our Amazon to Amazon module. And that's also what we're seeing down here under our recent activity under profitable flips. So these are products that have either price dropped on Amazon or restocked on Amazon, and the market price is higher. So let's say a product normally sells for $100 suddenly drops to $50. We're going to show you that product. Let's say a product that is retails at $50, but for whatever reason, Amazon's been out of stock for a month or 2 months and restocks at retail, but the market says it's a $150 product. We're also going to show you those. And that's things that are going to be kind of inbound. Those are products that you're going to see just kind of throughout the day. They're going to show you up on your feed, depending on your specific tasks and your specific filters. And then part two to the Amazon flips is our ASIN tracker. So you could actually say, hey, there's specific products I want to target for restocks or price drops, and I want to be notified 100% when those particular products hit. Right now, obviously, a lot of people use it for Pokemon and those hype products, but you can use this for thousands and thousands of other products that routinely come back in stock or price drop. And I can show you some of the tools we have to actually help you find those products so they easily be able to put them into your tracker. So first, we'll start with our profitable flip section. On the left-hand side here, we go to profitable flips. And as I mentioned, this feed here is a live feed. So you can see it's 12:10 p.m. right now, the recording of this video. The products in your screen are 12:09 p.m. So in the last minute, these are the products that have been sourced. We'll show you the latest 300 products going all the way back, depending on how long that takes to see, depending on your filters. But we're not showing everyone the same thing. I think that's a big question. Is like, well, if you have hundreds of people using your product and everyone sees the same products, are they going to sell it really fast? Isn't going to get saturated? The reality is we pull in about 800,000 products every month right to our profitable flip section. And of those 800,000, you're going to see a curated list that's going to fit your specific filters and your needs. So how do we do that? Under our task section up here on the top, this is where we're going to create specific tasks for products that we're looking for. So these could be products that we're ungated in. If you know Amazon, that means you're approved to sell. These could be products that are specific retail return on investment, so ROI, or even profit or margin under a certain rank in a certain category. You can kind of choose a menage of different filters, and we'll show you those only that physically fit those filter sets. You can see here that I have 11 different filters. Not everyone is active. I have these 5 filters that are active. If we go up here, we can create a task. And this allows us to create, again, those like very specific filter sets to say, hey system, I only want to see products that fit this need. So we can choose our seller type. This could be Amazon.com is the seller on record. Or if you're comfortable selling from third-party sellers, you can choose FBA or FBM. We can name the task here. So we're going to say YouTube, right? So we can know exactly where our task is and where it's from. Minimum profit. So, hey, I want to see all the leads, but I only want to see leads that are X dollars or higher for our profit. So let's do $5 here. And similarly, ROI. So this is a return on investment. If I spend $10 and make $3, it's a 30% ROI. What is my minimum return on my investment when I buy a product? And we can say, hey, we're going to look at just 30% or more. Under advanced, this is where we can get really kind of surgical with it. We have all different categories. We have 28 different categories. Amazon categories is products under, and we can choose some, all, or only one of these. We can clear all, so they're all selected. We can clear them. We can say, hey, I only want to see CDs and vinyl, or I only want to see toys and games, for example. And we can clear it, or we can kind of throw it all. A lot of folks watching this, you might be anti-clothing and shoes. That's a pretty popular one that a lot of Amazon sellers don't like to sell because of the returns. I totally get that. I didn't sell clothing and shoes for about 6 years. That being said, sometimes the deals are too good to pass up. So I can show you what that would look like if you wanted to have 2 separate tasks, one dedicated to just really, really good clothing and shoes, and then one kind of the catch-all for everything else. So in this case, we can say, hey, we don't want to see clothing and shoes, and we can remove that. We have our max BSR. So this is our best seller rank. This is that green line on Keepa. What is the maximum BSR that you want to source under? A lot of people go too low here. So let's say, for example, we'll do 300,000 for our maximum BSR just as a placeholder. We have our monthly minimum sold. So that's that yellow line on Amazon. And I apologize, I'm trying not to sneeze. That's like line on Amazon that is in the middle graph that says, or on Keepa, I should say, that Amazon reports how many have sold that month. Again, this is here and you can use it. I do generally recommend leaving this one blank because there's lots of products that might only sell 5 or 10 times a month, but you can make $50 a sale. You don't need very many of those to build a business that pays you a decent amount of money. So use it if you're only dedicated to very fast movers. Otherwise, you can leave it blank, but that's totally up to you to choose. Similar for reviews. Do you want to see products that have at least 1 review? You can throw that in, or at least 100 reviews. Again, reviews do indicate some level of sales, but as we know, it takes a lot of sales to just get 1 review. I do like having 1 review often because it guarantees that at least the product is sold, well, at least once, and kind of weans out a lot of brand new products. But again, totally your choice. Business discount, this one's really cool. So, you can buy on Amazon on a personal account. So that's just kind of an account that you normally have as a consumer. And then, of course, there's business accounts, and that's an account you can get if you have some kind of EIN, LLC, S Corp, sole prop, etc. And with a business account, sometimes you get business discounts that allows you to buy the same product you can buy as a consumer account, but cheaper. And we'll actually throw those business discounts in here as well. So if you only want to see products with a blank minimum discount on business, you can do that. So let's say it's only a $100 product, but on business accounts, it's $90. That's a 10% discount. If you put 10%, you'd only see products that have at least a 10% discount from consumer to business. And then seller count, this is how many sellers are actively selling the product at the time that we pulled it in. Again, this is one of those, I like to leave it blank, kind of see everything. That being said, you will get some products that are private label or products you might not be interested in selling. So if you want to kind of cut through that noise, you can just do 2+ sellers, and that's really going to minimize a lot of that noise and just say, hey, I only want to see products there's at least some history of third-party sellers on. And not just private label. Down here, I won't get into the super nitty-gritty details in this section. There's a separate video you can watch just on the profitable flip section that goes into it. But it's just our price variations, gives you an idea. So you're not looking at super volatile products. You can kind of tinker with these to say, hey, I only want to see products that are pretty consistent in price over 30 and 90 days, or I want to see products that kind of go up and down. This is really up to you to choose. The more consistent products, obviously slightly safer, but there's some really great gold in those up and down graphs because you can buy at the low and sell at the high. As long as there's a history of it going up and down, it works out. Down here, we have unranked items. This is, a kind of a hidden feature. We should probably call this out a bit more. So there's many products, thousands of products that for whatever reason, Amazon stopped reporting the rank on. And so when you go on Keepa, there's no green line, there's no BSR. And a lot of times when people are doing A2A flips, they're using a max BSR like we see up here with 300,000. But when we do that, we do any kind of BSR through Keepa Deals or anywhere else, we actually totally remove these unranked items. And these unranked items can still be incredibly profitable, and we just have to use other indicators to decide if they're worth buying. It could be seller count, it could be reviews, it could be other things to say, hey, is this actually moving? And we'll pull those unranked items in. So if you check this box, you'll also see products that are up to a 300,000 rank and unranked. So you can do both in one search. We have this profit over 90 days. Again, if you want consistent profit, you can check that. And then if you are a Walmart seller, so you only sell on Walmart, we do also try to UPC match all of our Amazon to Amazon flips to Walmart. So if we checked that box, we would only see products that are on Amazon and profitable on Amazon, but also have a Walmart listing. Oh, there's one more section here I totally forgot as well, which is our brand section. If you are gated in a brand or you're super focused on a brand, you can actually type that brand in and either exclude or include specific brands in your tasks. So a lot of folks, for example, might be gated in Lego, right? That's a big gating right now, unfortunately. So we can type in Lego and we can say exclude Lego. So now we're going to see every product that fits our criteria. If it happens to be branded Lego, though, it's not going to show up in our feed. And we can continue to add products here, like LOL doll. I don't think I'm spelling that right. Is it just LOL? Maybe I won't sit there too long. We could do like Melissa and Doug, right? That's a big one that a lot of folks are gated in. Recently, Nike, right, has been kind of regated for a lot of sellers. Converse was recently regated. So we can kind of go through and add a list of brands that we want to exclude. At the same time, we can also do the opposite. We can say inclusion. So if you only wanted to flip NECA, right? So maybe you're really into toys and NECA is a collectible toy brand. We can say, hey, NECA and Funko, I only want to see those. And we're going to go to include instead of exclude. And so now this particular task is only going to show us NECA and Funko products with everything else that matches. So you can get really granular. And that's why you can have multiple tasks to allow you to really fine tune exactly what you want to see within each task. Our whitelist feature is going to look at titles. So if you put a keyword into our whitelist section down here, that keyword must appear in the Amazon product title in order for that listing then to show up for you. So, we have the brand inclusion, but let's say you don't want to be hyper focused on a particular brand. You'd rather be focused on the type of, I don't know what to call it, like, for example, Disney, right? So Disney works with multiple brands. Disney has Legos. They have even, they have other things that they do with, like, actually Melissa and Doug has Disney. They do all different kinds of comforter sets. They have multiple brands that they license to or partner with. But instead of having to go through and find all of the brands that you want to include, we can just type in Disney and say, all right, I'm going to see every single product with Disney in the title, regardless of brand. So that's kind of how the whitelist feature works. And the blacklist is the same, but the opposite. So you could say, hey, what titles do I not want to see? So I hate selling curtains and drapes. For whatever reason, they pop up pretty routinely, and rugs, not products that I really want to flip on Amazon for A2A flips. So I can say, rug, I can say drape, curtain. And so I'm going to remove these types of products if those words are in the title somewhere from my list and kind of fine tune it down. What's really nice is once you have a task and you click create task and it's running for a while, if you see products that are popping up in that task through that filters that you don't want to, you can just go back and edit and throw either a blacklist or throw a brand exclusion in. And then moving forward, that task is not going to show up anywhere with those products in it. And so that kind of gives you kind of, again, full flexibility. And really the big difference between what FlipAlert does and some of these other tools like Keepa, which I absolutely love, but Keepa doesn't let you get as granular when it comes to Keepa deals, to like kind of fine tune and remove blacklist keywords and brands and other things. So you only see what you want to see, and it saves you a ton of time in the process. And then notifications. So off the bat, we're going to show you every flip within FlipAlert.co. So if you log into the website, you're going to see all of our flips, but you have some options as well. So under the notifications tab and settings, you can actually link this to a Discord. And that means that you can send all of these tasks and all these notifications directly to a specific Discord channel and a server that you own. So let's say you have a server with a VA. You can have one other person in that server. You can send your stuff right there, and they can see it in real time right in Discord. Or maybe you're kind of someone that likes to source on the go like me. I do a lot of my sourcing from my phone. So I love Discord for this because as things are popping up for my product finder, for my profitable flip section, they're going to my Discord and I'm getting notified on my phone versus having to log into the website. The website's great on desktop, but and it is mobile optimized, but if you want to get alerted for new things, Discord is a really great way to do that. And you can see I have something called server FA pings, and you can see I broke it down. I had some pop art pings, I had some Lego pings, and you can create different channels for different types of tasks, for different types of products, to get notified and kind of break it down that way. So that is like a huge kind of number one module within FlipAlert and what people use on a day-to-day basis. Once you have all your tasks running, again, we go back to notifications, and this is going to show us that running list of all of the products that meet those. We're going to get a ton of information right here. The goal is that you don't have to go anywhere else to make your buying decision. You're going to see something, you're going to buy something, and it's going to cut down on a ton of time. That is a question we get, right? Like, well, how is this different from Keepa? Well, when you're using Keepa Deals or Keepa Product Finder, you're getting products, but then you have to do the extra step of saying, all right, what is the profit of that product? You do have the calculator, and then you can't refine those products down by seller count. On Keepa Deals, at least, it doesn't have a running list. It's not going to notify you in real time, and it's not going to give you, again, all the real data that you need to make those quick buying decisions. But we know sometimes A2A does require that level of speed to be able to win out. And so we'll give you all that information here. Origin is kind of that task name that we created, so that would be where YouTube would show up, so we know exactly what task was pinging for us. And if we go to our columns, again, we have all these options, including our business discounts. If it's hazardous, right? So if you need to have be part of DSG to sell it, even the return rate, we'll tell you here all the way over on this side. This is a high return rate item, for example. So this Levi thing might not be one that we want to purchase. And then if there is a Walmart product listing, we will ping that for you with the UPC match. So that is the main use case of profitable flips. This is how, again, most of our users leverage FlipAlert on a day-to-day basis. They spend about $1 million a month across users just on A2A flips. And again, a lot of that's coming straight from here. We also have videos, tutorials right under each section you can click on, and you can view them at your leisure. As you can see, we were just sitting here and one popped up. So again, no refresh rate. We'll tell you exactly, hey, buy it, sell it, and profit. And if you hover over, we'll actually even show you the Keepa graph on the bottom right there, so you know exactly what you're looking at. The next one is our product finder. This is kind of I'm not gonna say slept on tool, but this alone is worth the price for some folks. So every time we find a profitable flip that comes into FlipAlert, we record it in our database. We have over 11 million products now that we've recorded over the last year plus. And what that allows you to do is sort all of them in any way you want, export them, look through them, and use them for seasonality or other things. So the same filter set exists here that we saw in profitable flips, but instead of looking and creating a task for new products, we're going back and looking over the history of time. So what's really nice about this is in the morning time, I'll come in here and I'll look and see what maybe I've missed in the evening while I was sleeping. They either I didn't buy, or if we have a VA they didn't buy, and either they're still in stock, you can purchase them, or we can track them, and we'll get to that in a second. And you can also do some really cool seasonal stuff. So we have a date range here, and you can choose specific time frames to look at flips. And so we're in September, we're coming up into Q4. We can go back and say, all right, well, what was a great A2A flip last holiday? What was going on last November, December, January? And are those products in stock today? Does the history show that, hey, I can buy them now and history is going to repeat itself? We have baseball season. That was a big one that just kind of started. So we were buying some baseball bats over the last 30 to 60 days. And we're looking at data last summer to see what baseball bats were having a hard time staying in stock, buying them early this year and then reselling them later when it came to season. We have Halloween. We have essentially all the seasonal elements that you can think of around buys that go out of stock that are good A2A flips. We can use their history of 2024. And of course, the longer FlipAlert exists, the more history we'll have to find those products and help kind of uncover some of those tools to make some easier profit, I should say. More, that's what I call proactive profit, where we're going ahead and we're trying to buy products early as opposed to having to react to price drops in real time. So that is how Product Finder works. I'm not going to get into the super weeds. I do recommend watching either the video if you're in FlipAlert, or actually it is included on our YouTube as well if you just want to see how Product Finder works in total with examples and all of that. And then the last one is our ASIN tracker. So this one could, we talked about the profitable flips module and the bulk of users making their return on that and using that every day. The ASIN tracker has become, it's a dark horse in what's being used most, ASIN tracker or profitable flips. That's because we've put the majority of our dev time into the ASIN tracker over the last year. So what does the ASIN tracker do? It allows you, as I said, to look at very specific products and get notified pretty instantly when those products restock or price drop. And why is this valuable? Well, if we go into profitable flips, we can see like this Pop Mart. So maybe you're really into Pop Mart. Pop Mart's a pretty popular product right now. You can see that this is restocking for $167. The last 30-day average is about $300. There's some profit there. Even if you're gated on Amazon, maybe you want to sell on eBay. If we click and open this product, I'm very confident that it's going to be out of stock, right? So now it is $249. It is totally out of stock. We cannot buy it. However, if you click this check mark, because I'm already monitoring it, but this little plus button. So if you click the plus button and it appears, it'll show you a check mark if you're already tracking it. It will then add to our ASIN tracker. And the ASIN tracker is personalized to you. So when I say our, I mean like ours as in the company that's using FlipAlert, not us as in FlipAlert. So you're logged in, you go and you say, hey, I want to know the next time this Pop Mart product is $170 or less. You can go in ASIN tracker and we can show you what that looks like. So I can click like plus here. So what it would do is, and I'm in streamer mode, so I don't know if it's going to load all the way. Oh, perfect. So what it'll do is it'll say, hey, here is the ASIN tracker. Here is the ASIN I want to get alerted on, right? I want to know if Amazon or third-party seller comes in stock, and I want to know if it's going to be under $170. So anytime it's under $170, I want to get alerted immediately. Under notifications, I want to get notified to Discord. So I'll get notified in FlipAlert, but I also want to get notified in Discord. And our cooldown is really nice. Our cooldown allows you to say how many times you want to get alerted in a window. So every 4 hours, every 8 hours, etc. So you don't get mass pinged. And then we can add notes. So for eBay, not Amazon, am gated. Okay, so now when that pings, I'll know why I tracked it and maybe what price point I should be looking for. And then we're going to click create task. What that will do is we will monitor that product every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds, we're going to look at that product and say, hey, is it $170 or less? No? All right, we're going back in 30 seconds. And as soon as that happens, boom, you're going to get notified. And so why is this different than, let's say, Keepa tracker? Well, Keepa, their speed is heavily reliant on how often they scrape a product. And sometimes they don't look at a product for hours, if not days. You can actually see how often they look at a particular product. If you go to a Keepa page, it'll tell you at the top the last time checked. And so what we're finding is many products that we're tracking will see 5, 10, or even 20 restocks, and Keepa will see none of them because Keepa just wasn't scraped in that interval. And because the speed of our scrapes are just beating the speed of Keepa, and honestly, the speed of a lot of the miners that exist out there that are available publicly, you're able to buy products and have them sit. You're like, oh, I got an alert. This product's in stock. You go to it and you buy it, and no one else sees it except for you or anyone else that is monitoring it through FlipAlert. And there is no limit to those trackers. So we have people that monitor 5,000 or 6,000 products. You can export directly from Keepa right into FlipAlert, so you don't have to worry about remaking all of your tasks. And that's the beauty of the product finder as well. When we go back here, we can go back in time. We can find all of those really meaty products, those products that restock really occasionally that we can then track. And so we know for a fact the next time they restock, we're going to get notified. Sometimes they won't even pop up in profitable flips because the ASIN tracker is actually designed to be faster because we want to give you that extra speed because you decided to literally look at that one ASIN and get notified immediately when that ASIN comes in stock. So ASIN tracker is huge in that regard. A lot of our folks use that on a daily basis. I do think we're monitoring about 75,000 individual ASINs right now for users, and we're paying about 200,000 a day. So, on average, one ASIN gets pinged about 3 times. And so our users are super happy with that. And that's why I think it's overtaking profitable flips, because the better we make it, the more people are using it. And they're seeing kind of that reward to going back and putting the time in to add things to their tracker and get notified on those restocks. We have a couple of new features coming as well for ASIN trackers for product finders. You can say AI query appears in beta. We're making it really simple and very straightforward, hopefully, for you to, again, just find the right products that you want to monitor, both in the reactive flip section, but also in the proactive ASIN tracker section. And then to round out Amazon, we have our orders tab, right? So again, this is placeholder data. This is not information that I've actually ordered, but we will actually sync with any of your Amazon buying accounts. We don't need your login. All you have to do is download our Chrome extension. And every time you go to your orders tab on Amazon, we're going to pull in that data right here. So you can see exactly what you ordered, when you ordered it, where you ordered it from, what account. So if you have multiple accounts, if you have a personal account and a business account, you can filter by accounts. You can filter by address that it was shipped to. And more importantly, you can see what's outstanding. So what products haven't shipped yet, or what potentially is a problem shipment. So this is something like, hey, you ordered this. It says it's been shipped, but it hasn't been delivered in 2 weeks. We're going to flag that as a problem for you so you can go reconcile that and hopefully find it, because Amazon's not great at telling you when things get lost between them and you. And so we do have to fight that quite a bit. And also the downside of Amazon when it comes to A2A is like their orders tab is pretty confusing. You can't really sort it very well. And so we try to give you all the information here to know exactly what you're buying, when you're buying, how much is outstanding on your credit card, right? Because Amazon doesn't charge you until it ships. So in this case, this particular fake person has $4,000 outstanding, but maybe they only had 100 and something. Let's say they had a $106,000 limit. Well, they have $105,000 that they've been shipped and delivered. They have $4,000 outstanding. Suddenly, they potentially go over their limit on the credit card. They wouldn't have known that until those things are shipped and then potentially been declined. So we're going to try to give you all that information right here up front. And then you can also export this. So if you're really into, if you use a prep center or a buy sheet, you can actually use this and kind of leverage it for those information. You can click this button up here and we'll show you all this right in a tab format. So what you bought, the quantity you bought, the total you paid, the COGS, like everything that you need to know to make a decision when it comes to reconciliation for both your like kind of end month accounting, but also for your warehouse staff or yourself or your partner or your 3PL, as opposed to having to copy and paste everything over from your order history, which can get pretty monotonous. Trust me on that one. Down here, I'm not going to get as into the weeds on this stuff here. So Amazon to Walmart, this is just our section. We try to help you find products that you can buy on Amazon and flip to Walmart. It works very similar to Amazon to Amazon. Personal deals, this is, again, also very similar to Amazon as Amazon, except for we remove the profit filter. So we're saying, hey, if it's a price drop and it's a solid price drop, we're going to show it to you. Let you decide. Maybe you want to buy it for a personal deal, but maybe you want to flip it locally or flip it elsewhere. It's just not profitable to reflip on Amazon with the data that we have today. But there's some really, actually made a recent video on this. There's some really good local deals. Think of like really big products that are $500 that are really expensive. Amazon shipping would kill all of your profit. But if you can buy them for $200, market's $500, and sell it locally for $350, you're profiting nicely. But that's not going to show up in a normal Amazon to Amazon flip because, again, A2A flips are designed to resell on Amazon, not to resell elsewhere. So this is where all the other ones are captured in here. Our Keep It tool, this is brand new, hasn't actually officially launched yet by the time of this video. We are going to, and I can show you a little bit what this looks like. So ultimately, very similar to the profit flip section, except this is the Keep It product finder. So if you've used Keep It at all, you know how powerful the product finder can be. They have a million different ways to sort and filter data. What's annoying about that a little bit is that once you do that and you set it, you kind of have to bookmark it. And if you want to go back and see those exact filters, you have to refresh the screen or kind of reload that bookmark. And we know people that do this every 4 hours. They have a VA that sits there and just refreshes because this is outside of the A2A purview. You can find some amazing deals, some products that are going out of stock. Maybe you can buy them retail or online, products that are decreasing in seller count, increasing in price, kind of getting ahead of a lot of curves by using the Keep It product finder. And so what we've done here, this module was totally designed to automate that refresh process and give you all the leads and all the information within FlipAlert itself. So you will be able to upload and create a task, use a custom query, right? So this is going to be your own query. You're going to go create that URL in Keepa. You're going to upload it into here. You're going to name it. And then you're going to see it on this list as new products meet that query. And we're going to check pretty routinely. As new products meet that query, they're going to be notified in the notifications tab up here, similar to how you are in Profile Flips. So really, really excited about that. Been a big one that people have been asking for. I think it's really going to help people that don't only want to do A2A, kind of increase the amount of leads they see and notifications for OA, RA, and any other reason that you use Keep It product finder, but automate it right within FlipAlert. And then the bottom one here is our use section. So this is going to be for Amazon used products, mainly books, video games, CDs, vinyl, things that make sense in the used category. Books is a really big one, also one that we've been asked about a lot. So that is coming where you're going to be able to track not only used products, similar to our ASIN tracker, but you're going to see used A2A flips, buy at FBM, sell at FBA, buy at FBA, sell at FBA, kind of used across the board, and find the discrepancies in pricing. Used books A2A is how I started in A2A in 2018. Near and dear to me, it's a little more challenging because of the different types of used products that exist between the different categories and also the different, used good, used very good, used near new, etc. And so getting that right was a labor of love, but that is about to drop as well. As mentioned, we have our Chrome extension. We have our Academy, which is just a lot of these tutorial videos. This one is a longer one, kind of everything all in one. But if you wanted to get specific nitty-gritty stuff on exactly how the Amazon and Walmart section works, exactly how Product Finder works, we have those videos available in the Academy. And then our settings page just kind of ties it all together. This allows you to add your prep costs, your tax percentages. This allows you to change how you view the tables, the different themes, and even the Keepa chart, how that pops up when you kind of hover over it. This is where you can put in your API key if you're going to do this custom Keepa tools with the product finder. Notifications, this is how you're going to attach your particular Discord to FlipAlert, and then you can mass edit and you can create default systems. So as soon as you do something, it's going to automatically go to that Discord channel or that Discord server for you. And then team members, the team members tab is allowing your VAs access. So we do have one seat that you get for the kind of the monthly cost of FlipAlert, and then for $20 extra, you can have 2 extra seats. So it's essentially 3 seats total, and those 2 extra seats are going to be mainly for VAs or other people that you want access to your account. You can then create custom accounts for them under team members, give them their own username and their own password, see when they logged in, see what they're doing on site, so you can monitor them if they're employees. And essentially, it's $10 a seat per month to get full access to FlipAlert under your account, under the same kind of system as yours. So they'll be able to see everything you can see, and of course do work when you're sleeping or do work when you're unavailable. They can bookmark products for review, all of the things that you might want them to be able to do as kind of their everyday tasks. So that is FlipAlert at its core. That is what we've been building. That's what exists. That's what over 500 people use on a daily basis. We're super excited about it. Obviously, I'm pretty biased, but a lot of the stuff that you see here, a lot of the stuff coming is because of user feedback. We have an incredibly dedicated team of users, and they are the reason that we get to do this. So obviously, part of joining FlipAlert is you, of course, get access to our Discord, which just kind of comes with it. It's community-based. It's where I make announcements. We talk about updates. I post videos. But you also have a ton of other A2A users in there that are sharing leads, doing lead analysis, which is something really cool that they do, where someone will post a lead and be like, hey, what do you guys think of this? And it's not really about, I'm going to buy this. What do you think of it? It's just like, I want to get my brain wrapped around A2A and what I'm looking for in a lead. What do you guys, would you buy this? Here's what I think. And then kind of get feedback from the crowd. And there's some massive sellers in there. People doing, I said, I spent $2 million in the last, 6 years. We have people spending $100,000 a month that use FlipAlert that are accessible in there just as a community member and just trying to help out. So a huge range of types of sellers that exist. And so really, really excited to continue to see that grow and really happy with how it's going so far. But that is FlipAlert. So to give you context, we do a 7-day free trial anytime. So you can essentially get in, create some tasks, and start seeing leads within about 10 minutes. And of course, as soon as you join, the product finder is available to you day one. So all of those old leads that potentially are still available to purchase are accessible. And then of course, ASIN tracker, if you want to export your Keepa stuff right in there or add new stuff, you will be blown away, I promise you, with the ASIN tracker. And then, of course, the Chrome extension, that is free if you want to grab that, even if you don't want to be a FlipAlert member. Outside of the 7-day free trial, we are $97 a month, so about $3 a day for everything you see. And as mentioned, our users spend about $1 million a month. So, it's hard not to make your money back. The goal is to 10x, right? So for every person that joins, I would love for you to make at least $1,000 a month in FlipAlert profit just from using our tool. And of course, hopefully much more than that. And if you need help, we have a support system. We have tickets. And we even have a team member that we're onboarding to help you with one-on-one calls to walk through exactly where you might be having issues with FlipAlert itself. So thank you for watching this kind of overview of what the platform is, what it does, how it works. If you have questions, you can throw them underneath in this YouTube video. You can also find me on Twitter at Saul Sells Stuff, and you can DM me there. You can tag me, and I'm happy to help. And of course, if you join or you're in the Discord, you can let me know just at Saul in almost every Discord I'm in. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to hearing any feedback, any questions, and of course doing another video in the near future because we actually have 10 updates coming in the next 10 weeks. So I expect another kind of walkthrough video in like November of this year because we have a ton of eBay stuff that's coming, which is going to be really cool for a lot of folks. I know not everyone is selling on Amazon, or some brands are gated or really good on eBay. So that's going to be kind of opening the door to that whole marketplace. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you all soon.